That is New Zealand behind us, and we have left for Fiji.
Full sail. We are just passing the hole in the rock, or Cape Brett.
How are you feeling about your first long passage on Elixir?
Really excited. I'm ready to be at sea.
How about you?
First big offshore passage of any sort, so it's all a bit new. But yeah, really excited. Hoping I don't get seriously seasick.
Taking your seasickness meds?
Yeah, dosed up big time. I'd probably be fine. Be good if it keeps up like this. Imagine that.
It's got pretty wild out here. We're getting smashed by these big breaking waves. Welcome back to this voyage around the world, and this is a big one. After 5 years of living at sea, crossing halfway around the world from the UK to New Zealand, visiting 17 countries and hosting over 50 different crew members, Elixir was tired. A lot of things had broken, we were long overdue for a major refit, and New Zealand seemed like the perfect place to do it. What I hoped would take a few months turned into over a year of solid work, and honestly, that refit was one of the hardest things I've ever done. But the dust is settled, the tools are put away, and we are finally back at sea. Ahead of us lies one of the toughest passages of the entire circumnavigation, 1,200 miles from the Bay of Islands, New Zealand to Fiji. On board with me is my girlfriend Rachel, who is also a professional sailor, and our new crewmate Rosie, who is stepping offshore for the first time. We knew it would be a challenge, but looking back, we had absolutely no idea what the Pacific had in store for us. Yeah, it's just like a nice, relaxed start to this trip. We have 12, 13 knots of wind just aft of the beam. Have full sail, and we're doing 6.5, 7 knots, sometimes 7.5 knots in the right direction. It is a pretty dreamy start to the passage, but obviously the wind is going to pick up later on in the trip, but it should be on the beam the whole way, so hopefully it'll be quite a speedy passage.
It's our first night, just about 9 p.m. and we're just cruising along at 8 knots. Couldn't be any better. I'm trying to just take it all in because I don't think the rest of the trip is going to be like this.
Quite a nice, peaceful night of sailing. The moon's out, the stars are out, and yeah, it's just a gentle start to the passage, which I think is good that we sort of ease into it, because yeah, I feel like it has the potential to get a bit bouncy later on. So this was day one of the worst passage of my life. Sunshine, flat seas, and a steady wind right on the beam. Honestly, this is as good as ocean sailing gets. It was a perfect opportunity for us to relax into the rhythm of being at sea and get used to this new version of Elixir, as whilst we were in New Zealand, we replaced pretty much every single system on the boat. It was absolute dream sailing. We all wished it could have stayed like this for the entire passage, but deep down we knew that it wouldn't last. So it is 6:15 in the morning of our third day, and yeah, there's wind and swell have arrived. It's been a pretty windy night, very bouncy. Wind has been like a solid 25 knots, I guess, with like this swell that's a really short period, so Elixir's really like punching through. Yeah, I haven't had much sleep at all. Feeling like super drained. We're quite hard on the wind, but the forecast is that it's going to shift more to the south, so we should be able to crack off, and I'm hoping that the rest of the passage will be a bit more comfortable.
We just have this 3-meter swell hitting us right on the beam, and every once in a while you get these huge waves crashing over the back of the boat, and that just happened to happen right when I went back there. It's like, oh, this wet and smashed. It's pretty unpleasant out.
It's got pretty wild out here. We have 30 knots of wind and this crazy messed up sea, and it just feels like part of Elixir is always underwater, and there's waves crashing over the boat all the time. whole interior is a mess because the boat basically got put on its side by a big breaking wave, and yeah, it's pretty much dead on the beam, so we're just getting pounded, we're getting smashed. But it's the short period that makes it so uncomfortable. The waves are like really close together and really steep like this. Alex is just getting tossed around. I think day 3 or day 4, and yeah, it's just been a rough passage, this one. We've definitely had our fair share of suffering, that's for sure. Just wet watches, wet beds. I felt seasick for the first time, like, ever really. It's the first time I've ever been seasick is on this voyage. Yeah, it's been a rough one.
We're basically just trapped in the cycle of sleeping, suffering on watch, eating, and sleeping again. Nobody's really talking. It has eased off a bit. The swell's gotten better. The swell's gotten smaller. It's still quite uncomfortable, but it's not as bad as it was.
I'm feeling better now, but yesterday I was seasick for the first time in my whole life, which is crazy. Like, I've sailed, what, 40,000 miles by this point and never, like, thrown up due to seasickness until yesterday. Yeah, we really got smashed. Ugh. I mean, this is chilled compared to what it was like. Everyone's bed's a little bit damp. You just get these, like, tiny little leaks that are impossible to, like, figure out where the water's coming from. It's like one drip every 30 seconds. But over, like, days, it kind of makes your bed wet. But you don't, yeah.
Not fun.
Not fun.
Hello. It is day 4, 5. Here with the moon set, sunrise. The waves are crazy, making me have very weird dreams at the minute. I didn't sleep very well last night, but no seasickness, so there's a positive. Looking forward to some calmer seas, I won't lie. Yeah. Very cool experience.
With offshore sailing, you are completely at the mercy of the elements. You have to do your best to make peace with whatever conditions are thrown at you. So that's what we did. We accepted it and we made the most of it. Every now and then, the ocean would give us a break. The wind would drop down into the low 20s or shift just far enough behind the beam that we could finally crack the sheets. The clouds would momentarily part, letting a few orange rays of sunset bleed through. The scene was still completely chaotic, but these tiny moments gave us the temporary respite and the psychological boost we needed to keep pressing on towards Fiji. And this is basically where we just perch, because underneath the spray hood is the only place where you're reasonably dry and you can see everything. Even under here, we're getting smashed by waves so hard that you still kind of get soaked. This is where we spend the watches, and every now and then you have to quickly dash back to make little adjustments to the wind vane, but yeah. Honestly, we haven't even been in the cockpit at all the whole trip. Alex has been making sounds that I haven't heard her make before because she's been getting smashed so hard by some of these waves. Sometimes the whole boat will literally just plow through a wave, and it just kind of like, it's like we're piercing through the face of the wave and the whole thing just comes over the top of us. It's pretty dramatic. And yeah, the wind vane came detached from the steering wheel. There's a small pin that engages the wind vane into the steering wheel, and that broke off, so we managed to bodge it together with some cable ties and some bolts. And honestly, nothing's really changed that whole trip. It's gotten warmer because we've been heading north, but it's still kind of grey, windy with a big swell, and that has just been the whole time. Doing anything inside the boat has been an absolute mission because everything's moving around so much. Cooking is like a real challenge. We'll be there in like 2 days, so it'll be the end of a tough passage, and it's gonna feel like amazing to arrive in Fiji. after this. What's it like cooking on a boat?
That sums it up. It's a new challenge, I'll say that much. Not looking forward to draining the tortellini.
Oh yeah.
As you can see, we've got some fun angles going on. Yeah, new challenge.
What's on the menu?
So, as I mentioned, Italian-inspired tortellini. A very nice accompaniment of tofu to go with it.
Sounds good.
Yeah, a little bit of a makeshift meal, but hey, good enough.
Yeah, nice. What have you been up to today?
I had a shower and 30 knots of wind in the cockpit. It looked lovely.
And yeah, this is basically all we've seen for this whole trip. Just big waves crashing into us on the beam, and lots of wind and grey skies, and that has been it for a week. Definitely a humbling experience. It's so uncomfortable for such a long period of time. That is just sailing. Okay, so we are a few hundred miles away from Fiji now, and yeah, we're still just getting smashed out here. We have like pretty regular 35 knot squalls, and yeah, even at times 3 reefs in the main and even more than 3 reefs in the headsail feels like a little bit too much. But I feel like the weather forecast kind of did us dirty because it showed decent amount of wind, sure, but it was kind of aft of the beam the whole way, and it looked like a really nice window, whereas in reality it's just shifted, so it's like it feels like we're fighting against so much wind and so much swell. Yeah, I think everyone's feeling real ready to just get in. Haven't had much sleep, and the interior is really hectic. Stuff's just getting thrown around all over the place, so yeah, we're all really excited to get back in again. These conditions are a classic example of reinforced trade winds. This happens when the prevailing easterlies are accelerated by a strong nearby weather system, creating a steep pressure gradient. The result, trade winds that usually sit at a comfortable 15 to 20 knots suddenly spike to 25 or even 35 knots, and it can last for days, sometimes weeks. To make things worse, frequent squalls would roll through, bringing even heavier gusts. On a relatively small boat like Elixir, you feel every single wave and you fight every single gust. But on the plus side, we were finally back in the tropics, the air and water temperatures were rising, and we could almost feel the presence of a massive tropical island just looming over the horizon. What's forecasted is a 4-meter swell with 30 knots of wind gusting 35, and that looks about right to me. It's pretty chaotic and hectic, and we just had the whole cockpit filled with a breaking wave, just filled the whole cockpit. There was a life jacket out here, and it set the life jacket off and inflated. So yeah, some pretty serious seas, but we are only 24 hours away, so we just have to endure it for one more night.
Land ho!
Wait, no, don't look at me.
What?
Don't look at me. Just do it. Just announce it.
Just say land. Just say, oh, land ho.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Just scream
Be more
it.
casual about
Just be more casual.
Land ho! Maybe get Rosie to do it.
Alright, your turn.
Last one.
Nice. after quite a hectic night last night with this super random and unexpected lightning squall that brought like 45 knots of wind, and unreal how heavy the rain was, just like suffocating rain, and yeah, lots of lightning. Anyway, we woke up, the wind dropped off, and we woke up to this beautiful morning. Came in through the pass this morning, and now we're just motoring, yeah, in the lee of the main island of Fiji towards the marina, and we're gonna go and do customs and all of that stuff. But after like a week of such hectic sailing, constantly being wet, constantly being smashed by waves, hearing that sound of the wind being like non-stop, this just feels amazing to be here. This has been such a good landfall, and yeah, hectic journey, but it feels incredible to be here. And sailing's just like that, you know, you just suffer for weeks, but then it's always worth it in the end.
So happy.
Thank you so much.
Beautiful.
Thanks for being here for another update from the voyage. It means a lot, so if you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe to follow along. If watching this makes you want to get out on the water, you have two ways to do it. First, if you want to join me on board Elixir, check out the Patreon where I share all upcoming crewing opportunities. Secondly, if you're dreaming of buying your own boat and sailing the world, come and join the Untied Sailing Club. I built it to give you the roadmap, the community, and the support to turn that dream into reality. You can try it out for 7 days, completely free, and if it's not your vibe, no worries at all. You can just cancel anytime. Thanks again for watching. I'll see you in the next one as we dive deeper into these incredible islands.